You see, I got the board there. Shout out to the guys, man. I'm gonna turn it up for y'all today. I appreciate y'all, man. You know, y'all been putting on. Y'all been putting on. You know, so it's only right that I come and punish him today, man. I'm gonna come in here and punish him real quick, man. Give y'all that real authentic sauce to it, man. You know, I got a vintage credential. I'm gonna throw around my neck for this, man. It's a vintage one. You know what I mean? Vintage. Man, I gotta really clean my stuff off, man. We gonna go in though, y'all. Y'all see the mic right there. Y'all can see the mic. Yeah, look how quick I be setting up now. I ain't been here in a minute, but look how quick I just set up. Alright. I got the board right there. And my microphone good. Alright. You're gonna get the microphone right. Thing is, this always a shortage with this mouse, man. This mouse is like nasty work. You know what? Later for the mouse. Now this live stream is being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Gumbo and CW, man. But I'm gonna get raw and uncut. Real talk. But this is courtesy of Mr. Gumbo and CW. tight that this shit right here. There's a shortage in this motherfucker, man. Hey, come on. See if I wrap it like that. I don't know why. You know what? See the board too. I'm gonna let the board rock. Yeah. All right. share over. I'm gonna get busy now. Where's my notes at? Okay, my notes is over there. Yo, it's crazy. They already tried to limit the live stream already. Unbelievable, right? Right. I got the board there too. Appreciate that like, man. Appreciate that like, man. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. I know likes is hard to come by. I got my notes right here. Yes, happy Saturday afternoon, y'all. As you can see, this is the special edition, man. I want to first and foremost say shout out to the real channel members, Gumbo and CW. This one is for y'all, man. You know, you guys not only contribute to the motion, you put your money where your mouth is, man. So I felt obligated to come here and give you guys a professional look, right? But I'm not gonna, if you guys want me to talk about boxing, put it in the chat, CW and Gumbo. But this is gonna be real direct today. The industry, right? The P Diddy trial, let me check this off now. The Puffy trial has come to a close, right? But I think the importance of the Puffy trial, and I want to speak on this now before they even deliberate and do all the things, it is exposing what goes on in the industry, where you have homosexual men who are in power or in position of power, who control a lot of the things. And in order to gain access to some of these things, or to be accepted, or to have, like I said, access, these homosexual men, right, want heterosexual men to give in to them. Now, this is Puffy trial is speaking on these things, but prior to that, we always heard of these type of dealings, right? Right or wrong, we heard about these type of dealings. The doors, the different doors to get on, right? Now, I spoke about this in boxing, because this is in all the industries now. And boxing, you see it now in boxing. You have guys who, and I'm gonna just start disrespecting, calling them what it is. You guys are punks. You guys are put in position You guys are punks. You took the deal. You took the oath. You're a punk, right? We know that. But see, I think with the Puffy trial now, they can't hide it no more, right? Doesn't that make sense, my line? Can't hide no more, right? You can't hide no more, man. They can't hide it, man. Punks have always been in power. And they use that power to, like I said, steal your soul. I'm talking to heterosexual people, male and female. You know? It's out there already, man. The trial is over, man. You heard about the freak offs and these parties, and now this other guy has came out, TA, right, with accusing Fat Joe of some of these same things, right? Are these the facts? Salute CW. I don't know if you just got in here. I give you your flowers, man. This live stream is courtesy of you and Gumbo. But this is what goes on, man. This is why. And this is for all the people that always ask me why. Yo, damn, look, I got on a vintage one just to show you. They used to always be like, yo, why your channel ain't big? Nigga, I'm big. What you mean? I'm me. I'm not with the fuckery. Ask these guys that you think are big if they with the fuckery. And they might tell you, I've been in the back. Yeah. Been in the back where? They got you in the back? What's going on, right? Yeah, see, somebody had to just skip out over here because they know I'm talking that real raw over here. That's why I don't really deal with a lot of these content creators, because some of these guys, and most of them, been already sold, but they sold for so low, right? Let me check that off. They sold their soul for scraps. They have a crash dummy platform. They have a crash dummy situation. You see that in this boxing game, right? How many of these guys, right? CW, if you're still in here, catch the source, right? This past week, Derrick James jumped back out there, did an interview with Ak and Barack, right? The bigger channels did not report on this. I did a whole breakdown on it. Whole breakdown. Saying, damn, this nigga down like his kids in his gym. Right? But yet nobody watches me. But after I did the breakdown and dropped the videos, right? That they shadow banned, right? Look, my videos were shadow banned. But this is how I exposed the internet and the fuckery that goes on, right? If you talk about something, pay attention to this. School is in session. Let me bring the board over. I'm gonna bring the board over for this, man. Right? I'm gonna bring the board over. CW and them looked out for y'all, right? Right? Pay attention to this game I'm gonna give y'all, right? And this is why I tell you these boxing guys, they're frauds, right? This big circle is the internet, right? This is the internet, right? Now when topics are trending or something is trending, right? Let me pull up. We having school today, boy. CW, you got this. This is for you. And Gumbo. Right? Let me show you something real quick. I'm over here on my X. Can y'all see X? Do y'all see X? School is in session right now. Yeah, okay, y'all see it, right? Now when I go on X, right? You see I'm on X. I go to Explore. It says trending. These are the things that's trending in sports. WWE, right? WWE Night of Champions, Cross, Raquel. These are the things that's trending, right? Dawn Stanley, Michael Cole, right? Saudi. These is all that's trending in sports. This is what's trending in news. Fun fact, right? Sports, entertainment, Julio Cesar Chavez is trending. He's fighting Jake Paul. Look, these guys are trending. These guys are trending, right? So let's go back over here so you can see me now, right? So these guys are trending. Julio Cesar Chavez and Jake Paul. Jake Paul. All right, now if I talk about Jake Paul, pay attention to this, look, and I'm supposed to be the dumb one, but not actually, I'm a genius, right? If I talk about Jake Paul on the internet, right? He's trending. So I should automatically be put in the mix now because I'm speaking on somebody who is trending. Now, when I tell you about these boxing dudes, right? With all these views and likes and all that, if you do something on them or you speak on them and you don't do no views, right? Just pay attention. When Derrick James said the shit about EJ, it took a day later, but the boxing voice picked up on it, right? The boxing was the big special. Everybody started talking about it, right? I already had talked about it, right? And since I had talked about it, they say I don't do no views now. Pay attention. I'm telling you how the shadow ban shit works too. My shit should have automatically came up in the mix, right? I just showed you that. Jake Paul is trending, right? Jake Paul. Julio Cesar Chavez, they're trending. This is entertainment too. They're not even trending in sports. Ashanti, the singer, trending. Jeezy in music, right? Rihanna. So now if Derrick James, right? And Earl Spence were trending because he said he didn't want Earl's kids in the gym, it should have got picked up on the internet. See, a lot of boxing topics don't really trend. And you know why they don't trend? Because the guys who are talking about them have fake audiences. They're not real influencers. What they do is they watch, right? And they steal topics. And then once they steal your topic or they steal your speaking point, they bring it to their audience or their platform, and it looks like they are what? Creating a narrative. Look, they damn, they're that mad now, huh? The live StreamYard done kicked me out. I don't know what's going on. Look. StreamYard, let's see. Yeah, StreamYard is bugging, huh? The StreamYard feed is bugging. I went to the board. I started breaking it down on the board. They kicked me out of StreamYard, see? Yeah, they didn't like that, y'all. I don't know what just happened, right? Yeah, they didn't like that I was giving away too many gems. Did you catch that, CW? CW, did you catch that? You see how they kicked me out the studio, right? Never happened here before. Look, you can see I'm in the spot. They kicked me out because look, I brought it to the board and I brought up a valid point, right? If you talk about anything that's trending, and I've been showing this with the consistency, pay attention. And this is for you, CW, and you, Gumbo, because I know you guys always want me to talk boxing. Look, they're trying to kick me out again because I'm killing it, right? You guys always want me to talk boxing, and I'll be like, nah, it doesn't pay for me to talk boxing because these guys that claim that my stuff doesn't get watched, actually take my stuff, all of them, because they like, and it ties into what I said. Most of them are punks. They took the deal, right? They're punks. They're industry punks or puppets, plants, agents, etc. Right? They took the deal, right? But what they do is they claim nobody watches my stuff, right? But I show you that not only do they watch my stuff, the official players fuck with my stuff, right? But they say that nobody watches my stuff. But then you see a day later, topics that I broke will break, but I won't do no views. And how is that possible, right? Now, the reason how I've also been exposing this is, right? When I talk about hip hop, right? I did a live stream on Nas. That's not even my fan base, right? I don't have one of these for covering a hip hop event, going to backstage or going to concerts, Summer Jam, being a summer. I don't have none of those, but I do have many of these for boxing, right? But when I talk about hip hop, the Nas and the Jim Jones shit, I was doing views. How? I don't even cater to that audience. Are you paying attention to the CW? I don't even cater to that audience right here, right? I talk about boxing. Jahad Tucker, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford. I talk about boxers. Got a whole catalog of boxing. I just was in the gym a couple of hours ago. Boxing, working the speed bag, exercising, talking boxing. But when I talk boxing with a catalog full of boxing material, they say that nobody watches me or ignores my stuff. But then you will see Sweet Dick Willie and the crew, the bums, right? Not only try to run with my shit, downplay it, but then you see the bigger channels run with it, but act like they didn't get it from over here. Are you catching that, CW? But yeah, J. Paul is trending. Just like when I did the P Diddy shit. When these guys are trending and you talk about them, your stuff is gonna get picked up. And I showed that, like right here. Watch this. Boom. Let me go over here to YouTube. Right? Right. Now look, if I type in Puffy, right? Diddy to walk free. Look. See, look, CW, are you in here watching? Are you paying attention to this? Look, why did my live stream pop up? CW, look, I didn't do nothing. Pay attention. Look, I just typed in Puffy, and look, see, this shit is all smoke and mirrors. These boxing niggas are punks, plants, agents. Look, I typed in Puffy, right? Massive Diddy trial update 2 days ago, right? TMZ, 500K, 581K, right? You keep scrolling down, showing Diddy Combs trials prosecutor arrest, right? 3 days ago. But look, the Puffy trial. I said trail. The Puffy trail, right, has exposed. Yes, the trail, because it's a trail they left. See, I could have said trial, but I want y'all to catch the trail. I'm leaving you a trail now. Has exposed the homosexual industry activities, right? But look, it came up. Only one person is watching, but look how it came up, right? Are you paying attention to that? Look how that came up, right? Now, the boxing shit, right, is so fake and industried out, right, that these guys that you think are supposed to be the trendsetters or the influencers, they're not. Because the system knows that not only are they speaking to bots, right? Their topics that they speak on. And look, you know who's really being exposed with this right now? The Haneys. Bill Haney. Bill Haney's exposed right now, man. That's why he runs around with the shenanigans he does. And look, the jig is up for them now, man. The jig is up. He has what? The gay nigga, he's gay. It is what it is, right? Son is gay, man. And I have nothing against those type of people. He's gay, right? This nigga does Devin Haney thumbnails and P-files and all the above all day, every day, right? The Devin Haney era. That's like, bro, that shit got him so far. It worked for a little bit. It's over with now, right? It's over with, right? Yeah, when in the beginning, these people didn't know the game, now they know the game and they done mastered the game to the point where you see all the celebrities, the entertainers, the ex-athletes, they are doing this now. They're podcasting, live streaming. But see, with them now, they have the money to really flip the illusion. Whereas you guys are obsolete now. Are you catching that source, man? Shut up, look, CW. I don't know if you can see the numbers, but look, there's people actually in here. You said yes, sir, so I think you see it, right? You see what I'm saying? Now, if I would have came in here and talked boxing, talked about, the fights is on tonight, Wilder's fight, no rhythm at all. No rhythm at all. Right? No rhythm at all. You know why that is? Because boxing and a lot of these boxing topics and these fighters, not only are they not trending, the people that's sitting around talking about them have no motion. They're all talking to the same audiences. They're all talking, a lot of them are talking to bots, right? And then most importantly, the ones that they are pushing out now are, and I quote, back to my notes over here, agents, punks, and pawns. How is the content looking now? How is the content looking now, man? Because I just broke down the board. If you talk about anything that is trending, and I just showed it, look how my live stream came up. As soon as I typed Puffy, it came up. It came up. Right? Why did it come up, right? Why did it come up? Because Puffy's trial just ended. Puffy is actually in the mix, right? So anytime you talk about anything that's in the mix and people do a search, your stuff should come up. So when they always was telling me, you don't do no views, I always say different. That's why these industry punks can't fuck with me and they don't like me. It's because they know they can't lie no more. They can't hide no more, man. They can't hide no more, right? When Earl Spence was the hottest fighter, I showed that thing, right? When he was the big fish and he was on drugs. He did the interview with me on drugs, right? Yeah, that video did numbers and they was mad at me. I didn't want to put that out. He was on drugs, right? He was hot. He was on Goofy Time, right? Right? He jumped on the camera like that. I didn't tell him to jump on the camera. I knew he was on shit. I was like, yo, bro, what are you doing? This isn't a good look for you, right? I was like, yo, this isn't a good look for you. But he wanted to be on camera, right? But now, if you notice, he doesn't really even trend no more. And you know why that is? Because was he ever really actually trending? It's a fair question, right? Was he really ever trending? See, a lot of times these people that you think are trending aren't really trending. In boxing, they've been pulled the wool over our eyes, man. That's why the real trenders, right? I showed this in my notes, and this goes right with the notes. I just went on Twitter before they tried to shut the feed down, right? Jake Paul is trending. That is why Jake Paul has been able to come into boxing and talk crazy but do crazy things, because he has always been trending from TikTok and all the other social media platforms. And the thing with him, right? Pay attention. This is more game. I'm not going to stay on that long. But I see I used the right title to spice it up, right? Jake Paul has always been trending and will continue to trend because his audience, whether it was TikTok or Disney or all that, they followed him and his brother. They supported them, right? Give you some more boxing. Deontay Wilder just fought last night on BLK Prime. He was one of the biggest draws when he was on top, right? Boxing is boxing. He lost a couple of fights. But yet, he's not a draw anymore. How is that possible? If you have a real fan base and a support system, that is why the LDBC and all those guys are exposed, because if they was really who they said they was and had the motion that they said they had, Deontay Wilder would have never fell off, regardless of losing, taking L's, because these guys support him. Not only do they support him, they uplift him, but they don't. Look at Jake Paul. Jake Paul, the boxing people say that he's a gimmick. He's not a real fighter, right? But yet he's bigger than all of the fighters. Why is that, CW, and everybody else who's in here? Because he has a core, a fan base, a LDBC that's really LDBC, that's really supporting and pushing. He's trending. He's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., another dope fiend, drug addict. But yet this fight is trending. Why? Because Jake Paul has a community that supports him. How is my content looking now? Yes, this is all fair share. That's why I got that up there. It's fair share. But how are we looking? And look, I didn't even put the music on today. I should have had the music dropping, but I didn't. I think I did enough live streams today, but I'll put the music on now. There we go. I know y'all got accustomed to hearing the music. So there's the music for y'all, man. There's the music. But yeah, you see when I pulled over to Twitter and I was exposing that and I pulled the board up, man, they shut the live down, man, on StreamYard. The service just got real flaky. Because they don't like when you expose they secrets. But, the industry is exposed now, man. Puffy's trial exposed a lot of that. Now with this new Fat Joe allegation, it's all being exposed, man. So if you are a heterosexual man and you stand on principles and businesses, just know you're going to have a hard time in this game. But if you are somebody who's willing to play the game, take it in the ass, yes, I said it, you go far. If you don't have no integrity, you stand for nothing, you can go far in this game. Very far. As far as being a puppet pawn. But as far as having real power and a voice, peep this, right? Remember I was just doing my thing, right? And that lady came up to me, right? Because my light was vibrant. And I signed the paperwork for her for the charter school. You won't have that light. That's why a lot of you guys, your light is dim. You're not outside. Nobody really knows you. You move the way you move. You look for internet fame, right? Because see, on the internet, one thing about the internet, you could be any type of character you want to be on the internet. But who are you in real life? What do you do in real life? How many of these guys, like CW, I've been telling you this, right? I was like, yo, these guys want me to go away so bad because I expose the real, I'm everyday people. How do you talk boxing? You're a coach, you're this, you're that. But we ain't seen you coach nobody. We ain't seen you in no gyms, right? How are you a boxing fan, but you don't even, all you do is sit on the internet? How many of these so-called boxing fans and boxing platforms that you watch and you take what they talk to heart, how many fights have they covered? How many fights have they been to? Amateur, let alone professional, club shows. How many? But these are the people that you sit around day after day, right? And you listen to. You're programmed to listen to. And then some of you guys take it even a step further and attempt to argue and debate the information that you are getting from these people. And some of these people that you're getting the information from, not only are they punks, they've been lost their manhood. Rest in peace to Big Pun. Big Pun said, when you awaken, your manhood will be taken. These niggas' manhood's been taken, man. We just watched the Puff Daddy trial, man. Right? Puff Daddy, yo, look, it's out in the open now, man. I'm gonna play my man shit, right? Choke no joke, because Choke doesn't get upset when I use his content, right? He put it out there years ago. They blackballed him because he was saying how if a homosexual man couldn't have his way with you, not only was he going to make it hard for you, they was going to belittle you or try to degrade you. This is all the industries now, man. This is all the industries now, man. They been did it with boxing, right? They did it with boxing when I was Jackal Fitness. But see, when I was Jackal Fitness, I was too aggressive and angry. So it was easy for them to, kill my credibility. But can they kill my credibility now? Especially after what we just witnessed this week, right? Right? What was one of the trending topics that my video sparked? My video, I did a live stream on it, breaking that whole interview down. Derrick James' inconsistency, not wanting to answer questions, but upset at the fact that Earl Spence had his kids in the gym, and it was unprofessional towards him, according to Derrick. Right? The Boxing Voice did a phenomenal sit-around 3-hour live stream on it, man. But they did it a day late. They should have did it when they was running with the false narrative about that fight that wasn't happening, that was not signed for, right? You see how quick I shut that down on my platform, right? And I remember that I was driving around like I normally do, getting to it, and I was like, yo, I called somebody at Top Rank and said, damn, y'all made a fight that fast? That gotta be a new record, right? That has to be a new record, man. Right? To make a fight that fast. See, wait till I interview a fighter for you. I'm gonna do it one day again. I just been chilling. Cause I'm gonna let a fighter go into some game for y'all. Cause you sit on this internet, a nigga could put up a thumbnail, with a nice catchy, graphics, and you niggas assume that that's the motion. Fights don't get put together that fast, man. Because, look, these are my notes, but just act like this is a contract or terms, right? There's only a couple notes here, but when fights are put together, right, there's a whole bunch of these, right? All of these have to be worked out, in essence, before a fight is even made, because it might be something on this right here, and I'll be like, no, hold on. I don't like that. I'm not agreeing to that. Here's the terms. I'm not agreeing to that. But these niggas made a fight so fast, y'all. Not only did they make the fight that fast, right? They made the fight so fast and everything was agreed upon. But you know who exposed it? Yo, shout out to Pop Senior, right? He exposed it. Norman Senior exposed it on the Boxing Voice. And when he was saying, yo, I don't know if I could talk about that, I can't. See, Bill don't care, because Bill was like YTC promotions specialist, right? This is he been doing this forever and a day, right? Right? But that's why DHP Promotions, when you pay attention to how the industry, Oscar De La Hoya and all these dudes, they violate him. They be violating him. But YouTubers don't catch it because YouTubers are just so thirsty. He could give a YouTuber $100. Real talk. He get super chat. These guys will jump in their chats and throw $100 in a super chat. These niggas will sell their whole channel. Sell it quick, fast, right? But Brian Norman Sr. was like, yo, I don't know if I could speak on that. Because he knew. Not only that, he was like, yo, remember he said this too. Oh, I gotta make sure everything look, these ain't the terms, but everything gotta be right. Right? It's like, come on, man. Look, my nephew just fought a fight. And I was talking to somebody behind the scenes about this, right? I was like, yo, he's not even really upper echelon yet, but he's getting there, right? But I said, yeah, they brought in a ring, right, for that fight. The ring was the shoebox, right? They also did some other things that I'm not going to disclose because I like I said, I'm on a whole nother level now. But there was some other discrepancies that wasn't agreed upon, and the reason why they got away with this is, and I was telling somebody behind the scenes, they should, they know what it is with me now. I'm official, right? And I was like, the reason why they got away with this one was because, right? Yeah, you could go to court. And look, Derrick James and Earl Spence are still in court right now. They're still in court right now. And these people know this. And when their money is way, way long, they'll play that game, right? But you, if your money's not that long, you can't afford to play that game. And then in a sense, you're gonna lose more money than you're gonna make, unless it's for millions of dollars, like you see with Derrick James in them. But I was trying to break that down a little bit to y'all today earlier. And I was saying, damn, they've been in court for some years now behind this. This is really getting costly. They didn't come to the table in some type of understanding agreement. You know why? Because both of them done sold their soul, right? They done made millions of dollars together, right? You mean to tell me y'all couldn't come to an agreement? Like, damn, all right, I'll give you this, or we'll take this, but they're still in court. Still in court, man. Because you know why? Both of them sold their soul, right? And they really never was official. Because if you was official and you made millions of dollars together and you had one loss and the monetary was a little off, that everything that y'all did to get to that point should mean something. But yeah, y'all still got lawyers involved, still in litigation. This man said that. I just said, yo, what's on? What's up? I talk. Well, this really ain't going. I can't talk. That ain't even business. I don't do that. It's my gym. If this is your business, you at the cash register, you ain't going at the cash register. Why would you ringing up a water? Why you going on that thing? Alright? That's what we just witnessed. But it's like, damn, man, y'all made millions of dollars together, man. Y'all still in court? For 5 M's or however many M's it is, but y'all made mad M's together. And y'all couldn't come to an understanding. But how is the content looking, y'all? Thank you. Gumbo's laughing. CW said facts. Man, how's the content looking, man? How's the content looking, man? Facts, man. That's how he told. I know that nigga. I know Punchy. Punchy. No, I can't handle that, man. Yo, I ain't saying that. Like, yo, man, what's going on, man? What's the next fight? I don't know, man. I don't know, yo, this guy told me I'm gonna be all right. The last Big Six fight, I was the main event. I ain't win them shit. I was the main event. I worked with Ryan, and Ryan was dirty. I ain't care. I got my money. It's all about my money. I take blood money. I sold my soul a long time ago. I'm a liar. Remember remember Terrence Boyd was gonna whoop my ass. I remember Terrence was gonna whoop my ass in New York. I ain't no punk, right? You heard me say I ain't no punk. Why? Terrence didn't say you was a punk. Y'all remember that? Yeah, do I need to pull that up? Watch me pull that up real quick, right? Yeah, he said he wasn't a punk, man. Remember that? Y'all remember that? He said, I ain't no punk. Why he said he wasn't a punk? Yo, why did he say he wasn't a punk? Look.
Come on, man, I gotta go there. I got undisputed champ. I got undisputed champ. Hey, keep your ass out there. Keep your ass out there. Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's going on? I said, what's going on? Stupid? You stupid? What's the issue with me? I said, what's going on? I said, what's up? I said, what's up? I said, what's going on? I said, what's up? I said, what's up? All right. Yeah, I said, the one talking. Me? Man, this ain't about to get choked out or something. Well, really, it was like his boy on the outside was talking. Man, you know what I mean? I think they know I'm a punk.
They don't think you a punk. Right? Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that? They think I'm a punk. No, they don't. They must know something, man. You know something, right? All he said was, what's up? I said, what's up? They think I'm a punk. Nah, you be around them punks. You know what you did, Derek. You know what you did. You been sneaking out them rooms, brother. But that's neither here nor there. How's the content looking now? Shout out to T in the building. NYT, what's going on, brother? What's going on, brother? See, these niggas know what's up with me, man. I tell these niggas to their face. To their face. Word, to your face, nigga. You can't lie no more, man. Nigga think I'm a punk. Maybe you was in the rooms, man. Maybe you was in the rooms, man. I remember my man, right? Listen, man. My brother be laughing because my brother knows I know all of these niggas, man. You niggas be sneaking out of rooms, man. Yeah, you ever seen, right? Listen, see, a lot of y'all haven't been on this level. And you don't listen to the people that's been on this level. You listen to the frauds, right? But, yeah, these niggas, right? Remember I told you about Booty Do? That's what I call Tank Davis, Booty Do, right? I was at the Brooklyn Marriott, and I seen Booty Do, right? Because I used to be around all these guys, man. And I was like, yo, man, where this nigga coming from, man? This nigga coming from, man. Nigga came up in a hotel, ass all out, right? Booty Do. That's what I call him, Booty Do. Like, yo, come on, man. You niggas this how you niggas is moving? Yo, that's how y'all moving, man. Tell me they be going to the parties, man. Wow, these guys, see, it ties into my topic, man. See, the Puffy trial has exposed all this. How is the content looking now? How's the mic sounding, man? How's the mic sounding, man? The mic sounds nice, right? My mic sounds nice. Look, I'll show y'all my setup, man. Got my board right there. Look, got a couple of them in the building with me, right? We working over here, man. We growing the brand and the business, right? The news by Shanewz, Source Experience, man. You know, you do have options, man, right?